I might offend you with this video. And if I do, there's a good chance you need it to be offended. Let's talk about it. Hey, welcome to another video. Yeah, I've seen some people talk about how AI is going to ruin photography, certainly change it. And to some extent, that's true. To some extent, it might put some photographers in a bind. People that made their living doing stock photography, probably going to take a hit. Maybe people that do corporate headshots might take a hit. But let's face it, that's a small percentage of people who would consider themselves photographers. My old friend Tom used to say, man, I don't like these computers. They're going to ruin the world. Then it was, 35 millimeter film. Why can't everybody just use 4x5 and 8x10 view cameras? Then it was, oh man, these digital cameras. I mean, it's going to destroy photography. I was watching a video the other day about the collapse of Kodak and the fact that Kodak had the first digital camera and essentially ignored it because they dominated the film industry. And they assumed that everybody was always going to just shoot film. And that's true. They really believed that they could just ignore the digital age. Well, guess what? If you're a photographer, you can't ignore AI. But you can't let it rule you either. And let me tell you why. What AI cannot do and cannot replace is the emotion and the value and everything you get out of being a photographer. The joy of going out and finding a lake where you want to take a photo. And you're standing there and the light is about ready to hit and a bunch of people go and run out onto the bridge where you've been standing there waiting for 45 minutes to take an image of that bridge with a mountain in the backdrop. And just as you're ready to take a long exposure, 10 people go and get on the bridge and all stand there and take selfies. And your wife has to go over and ask him to get off the bridge for 5 minutes just so that I can get an image. And then they all come over and stand next to me and want to take the same picture I'm taking. AI can't do that. AI might be able to get an image that's pretty close to that. But AI can't get you that story. It can't get you that feeling. It can't get you that memory. It doesn't do it. People say photography is the study of light, and that's very true. But photography is also up here in your brain. It's in your heart. It's in a lot of places. It's all the emotions that you get, the enjoyment you get out of photography. It's the confusion of, oh, I'm going to go on a trip. Do I take my Z8 or do I take a smaller camera? Maybe a Z7II or even a Z50 or a Z52. Do I take one lens? Do I take two lenses? Do I take a whole bag full of lenses? It's that too. It's a lot of things. It's getting up every Saturday morning for weeks on end and going and watching your grandson play soccer and watch the emotion of him scoring his first goal and you taking that image. Or getting his first hit and he stands there watching the ball, not sure what to do. And you've taken that image. It's trying to convince one of your grandsons to get in a window at your son's house that you know has some of the most beautiful light coming through that window. And your grandson, who doesn't like his picture taken, you have to kind of plead with him in a way and say, please let me take just one picture. And you get to fire off 3 frames before he's had enough. And he wants to go on and do something else. You can go and say, Claude, get me a picture of a boy sitting in a window. And you can get that. But you can't get that memory. You can't get that feeling you get of getting that image that you've wanted of your grandson for a year. And he just didn't want to sit in that window. And you had to keep going up there and saying, one picture, please. Let me just take one picture of you in that window. And when you get it, and you get it on that computer screen, the joy you get, AI can't replace that. It just can't do it. Now, you're talking with someone who used to have a computer business. And I used to sell home computers when they first came out. And I can't tell you how many people would come in and pick my brain and say, well, what do I need? What do I need? What do I do? Did. And then they go online and buy it from Dell. And then 3 weeks later, they come wandering in acting like they don't have a computer at home already. Well, what if this happened? Or that happened? What would I do then? Well, then you're going to charge me $50 an hour, bring your computer in here, and I'm going to show you how to use it. So I had to adapt. And if you're a photographer and you're worried about AI, you have to adapt. The world changes. Guess what? There's probably not as many blacksmiths in this world as there were a couple hundred years ago. Things change. Photography changes. Not too many people shoot film anymore. There's a lot of people that just shoot digital. It changes. But what doesn't change is the feeling you get when you get that image. What doesn't change is when you get up early in the morning and you get that shot, that seascape that you wanted to get. Or you go to the beach and you get that moonrise. And you had to go 5 months in a row because there was either rain or clouds, because that's what the weather does. And you finally get the shot you were trying to get. It's when you travel and you're sitting on a boat and you want that almost quintessential, or one of the quintessential images of Venice, and the boat is moving and you have to have the knowledge of your exposure triangle and how to actually handhold your camera to do a proper panorama, and then get home and guess what? Use AI to stitch those images together to get a shot like this. That's when you embrace AI. It's not going anywhere, but embrace it. Use it to your advantage. I just redid my website, and I would hope that you go and take a look at it, because I've completely revamped the way my business model, if you can call it that. But I'm trying to have a business model, and that was to take down a website that I had that had my books, and it had color pictures, and it had platinum pictures, and it was kind of a hodgepodge of things. And I went to AI and I put in a whole bunch of prompts and went back and forth, and AI helped me develop my new website. So please go take a look at it and tell me what you think. But I used AI to help me do it. So I didn't see it as, oh, AI is going to destroy my photography. AI didn't stop me from going to Venice and getting this shot. And the feeling you get, again, I used AI to stitch it together. But photography yes, is a study of light, but it comes from the heart. It comes from your brain, your knowledge of all your experience of knowing how to get an image. And when you get that image, you think, wow. Now, on my last trip out, this image here was taken in a little side street in Pisa. And of course, everybody's taking a picture of the tower. And my wife and I walked down this little side street. And I wanted to take a picture of that window. And just by sheer luck, that waiter walked out with the pizza, with that apron, and completely changed the image. That was luck. Yet I was there and I knew how to get the exposure right, and I knew how to take that picture before he appeared. Same with this image. I was taking a picture of the colored buildings, and a man walked out to smoke a cigarette, and it was just pure luck. It changed the image. Now, I could go into AI and say, yeah, a guy smoking a cigarette with a bunch of color-looking buildings, and it would probably produce something. But it can't give you that feeling of the joy when someone just walks out and smokes a cigarette, or walks through a door frame with a pizza, and it just makes your day. A little silly thing like that, a guy walking out holding a pizza, makes your day, because it totally changed the image. And it gave you that feeling of satisfaction. I've got a friend that, I don't know, he's either a genius, he's gone mad, or a combination of both. I don't know. But he knows AI maybe almost as well as anybody in the world. The guy is just an utter AI genius. And he was showing me some of these images that he created. And I asked him, I said, are you a photographer? And he said, no, I'm a creative artist. And he prints them out and he goes to an art show and he doesn't sell them. He just shows people. And I said, well, what if people ask you and they think this is real photography? What do you tell them? That's their problem. I know what it is, and I tell them what it is. And I would suggest the same thing to you. You know what your photography is. You know what it means to you. Embrace that. And don't worry about AI. If you want to use it, you use it. If you don't, if you want to flip out skies, there's a guy online that'll sell you plenty of courses that'll just teach you how to change out your skies. If that's what photography is to you, who am I to tell you you're wrong? I don't care what you do. I only care what I do. And one last thing. Here's an image that I took in Alaska. This is right out of camera. And then this is what I did with it. I made a platinum print out of it. AI can't do that. AI will never be able to do that. There's a lot of things that AI will never be able to do. So it's never going to destroy photography. It's only going to destroy photography if you let it. And if you do, then all I can tell you is, like Ygritte says in Game of Thrones, you know nothing, Jon Snow. Till next time, take good care.